welcome back to another coffee chat. Listen, today I want to talk to y'all about something I don't think we talk about enough. Child, parenting our adult children. Because nobody tells us how the job changes. And my oldest is 32 years old, so I've been parenting an adult for a long time. And I feel like sometimes I do more parenting with them now than I ever did when they were kids. And it's twice as hard. Know why? Because I can't say, because I said so. Do it this way because this is how it's supposed to be done. Because they grown. They grown. And they know everything until they don't. Y'all, I have 3 adult daughters. 3 different personalities, 3 different needs, 3 different lives, and 3 different ways of handling things. So I can't parent them the same way. They don't need me the same way. And as adults, you know, they have their own way of how they want to do things, right, wrong, or indifferent. And that part of how to parent each and every one of their individual needs, I think that's going to be a lifelong learning lesson. You know, when do I step in or when do I step back? Those are questions I'm still learning at this big age, and their big ages too. How y'all do it? Let me know, because I can't be the only one who's asking these questions. It's so funny because they really think they have it all figured out until they don't. Until it's, Mommy, how do I do this? Mommy, who do I call for this? Mommy, how I sign this paper? It's so funny. And I actually love that part. I'm not complaining. I actually love that part that they still need me sometimes. That they don't need me totally, because I'm saying this, but they are true grown-ups. All 3 of them. But I still love the fact that they still come and ask me stuff and still need me. Their trust in me, like I have it all figured out, is amazing. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't know either. But they don't never accept that as an answer. I got to dig deep and find something for them. A mother's job is never done. Not at 32, 27, or 20. No, but for real, I'm still trying to figure out, you know, when they ask me questions, do they want my advice? Do they want my help? Or do they just want me to listen? Because those are 3 very different things. And sometimes they need all 3, but don't want all 3. And I have to decipher in the middle, like, where do I step in? And where do I step out? I'm tending to pull back a little bit and not just jump into fixing mode every time, because I am dealing with grown women, and trying to fix their problems all the time sometimes make it worse. And then we battle because I tell them something and they do the opposite. So I'm like, well, why did you come and ask for my advice if you're not going to listen anyway? But that's neither here nor there. They've done that, and they will continue to do that. I just got to figure out where the sweet spot is of, they don't want to answer this time. They just want me to listen. Yeah, that's what I got to figure out. Because adults and problems are different. You know, when they were little, their problems were fixable. I can just come in, you know, you're hungry, let me fix you something to eat. You need something for school, let's sit down. Let's go to get the project done. Somebody hurt your feelings? Come here, baby. Let me give you a hug. Let's talk about it. But when the adult children come to you with adult problems, I'm talking about jobs, careers, finances, relationship, housing stuff, questions about their own children's. Big adult decisions that could actually affect their lives. So I'm careful when I answer. And I'm sitting here thinking, sometimes the answer is obvious. And I'm like, Lord, I know exactly what they should do. But, ooh, child, I got to let them make their own decisions. And that's the hardest part. They're grown. And I can't just tell them what to do anymore. Those days are long gone. Not that they're going to listen anyway. But in this big age, I have to respect that I'm dealing with 3 grown women. And respect the decisions that they choose to make. Even if when I don't agree. And that's a lot, y'all. A lot of times I don't agree. Because I'll be like, what in the hell are y'all thinking about? Why would you do that? But that's neither here nor there. I just got to let them do how they're going to do. And navigate their own lives. And not jump in every time to fix it. Watch them make those decisions that I know gonna fail. Those are things that make my stomach turn, though. Turn in knots watching them. I might say a little tidbit here. How about this? Or suggest, how about that? But, when your mind's made up about something and you're an adult, you're going to do it your way, regardless of what mama has to say. And I can't argue because I did the same thing. The hardest part about adulting adults is knowing when to let them figure it out. Yeah. Even when you know their decision is not going to end well. Yeah. Knowing that they're going to end up flat on their face. And then I may have to come help them clean up the mess that they make. That's, for me, is the hardest part of being their mother. Don't nobody want to see their children fall or fail. Nobody want to do that. And it's a natural instinct as a mother to want to fix it. But I'm learning. Just because I can help doesn't mean I should help. Because deep down, I know I can't save them from everything. And sometimes constantly rescuing them keeps them from figuring it out themselves. And that's the lesson. That's the journey. That's what we need to do as parents, is teach them how to figure out tough situations on their own. So sometimes I just gotta let them go through it. Not because I don't care. Quite the opposite. Because I do. It's because I love them enough to understand that some things you have to go through yourself in order to grow. And that's hard as hell as a mother. But I ask myself, if I jump in and save them, am I saving them from hurt, or am I saving them for the lesson that they need to learn? And I have to go back to, I do have 3 daughters, and I have to adjust my parenting style with each of them. Yeah, because, one of them may just want to come express themselves. Let me know what's on their minds. And another just need a big push. Just do it. And another may just want me to listen, not comment, just listen. And sometimes one might just want me to back off, give her some space. My relationship with my daughters are all different. I have 3 different relationships with them. And none of them are wrong, just different because they're different. So I can't parent a one style fit all. It doesn't work. Their needs are so different from me. And I wouldn't even call it a need. I would call it more of the relationship I have with them, because that's what they are. They're adults, and I'm not raising children anymore. I'm building relationships with my daughters who are women. And like with all relationships, you learn and grow. It's a lifelong process. Because when I think about it, over the years, I've changed. And they had to learn and grow with me. As we grow and mature in different ways, the relationship changes. Yeah, as I sit and think about over the years how I have changed and matured and grown in different ways and areas of my life, they've had to adapt to me. And vice versa. Every year, every experience, every lesson, they learn, they're changing too. They're becoming different versions of themselves, just like me. It flows beautifully, actually. Yeah, sometimes we bump heads. It ain't always pretty. Because just like their mama, I raised 3 strong women. Strong-willed, strong-tempered, strong-minded. Stubbornness is in our core. So yeah, we bump heads. It ain't always roses around here. But that love we have is unbreakable. Yeah. But I say all this to say that, aliens, I'm still figuring this out. I've been in the game 32 years, and I'm still figuring out how to be a mom. 2 adults now. And I want to know from y'all, how y'all do it? Give me some tips. I wanted to just share with y'all what was on my mind this morning. And I always let my children know, even though they get on my nerves sometimes, they can always come home. They can always call their mother. I'm always going to be here. But still give them enough room to live their own lives. And I think we have a pretty good balance right now. But there's always something else to learn. And my challenge, my lifelong challenge is going to be, how do I help without taking over? How do I give advice without controlling? And probably the biggest one of all is, how do I watch them make decisions that I know I wouldn't make and respect their choices? I don't think there's one answer. Because as we grow and adapt, the answer's going to change. And I think that's the new version of motherhood that I'm learning now. So aliens, my question to y'all is, when do y'all step in? When do y'all step back? And have y'all figured this thing out? Y'all give me some pointers. I need some advice. I got questions, damn it. And if you're raising teenagers or young children, I'm curious about that too. Even though I passed that stage in my life, you know, it might help me with my grandbabies. Have you ever thought about your relationship with your children? What is it going to look like when they're adults? Because I know you don't stop being a parent when the children are grown up. I know because I'm living it. You don't ever stop parenting. You just have to learn how to parent differently. And apparently, I'm still in training. All right, aliens. Thank you for joining me on this Monday morning coffee chat. Tata for now. Until next time.
You got a 2-day trial before I take back my time and make you pay. 30-day trial before I made my mind.